Hello viewers, I'm SB, and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 2. I swear to you, this time I actually really mean it. We're taking back the Gianthome Mountains. I don't think there's anything else to do this turn, so let's just go ahead and hit the button. I'm pretty sure we're going to be able to do this. Silktrekken doesn't actually have a garrison. Also, I have no idea. I might not be anywhere near pronouncing that name correctly, but that seems like a pretty reasonable guess to me. And that leaves us with very little work to do, right? Krakadrach itself shouldn't be too hard to take, certainly not with two full armies. We have a lot of concerns, though. A lot of things are wrong in the world beyond the situation with the Gianthome Mountains. There is still a stack of Chaos Warriors over here.
Fast for you.
Ooh, these guys want a peace treaty. Here's a question. Do I want to leave the rest of my allies alone on this? And, further question, if I refuse to accept this peace treaty because I don't want the Wood Elves to run roughshod over all of our allies, will the rest of our allies accept a peace treaty and leave me alone in war against the Elves? I think that it would be best for everybody if we burned out the Wood Elves. I have never had a game where they behaved in a sensible way. They're just not trustworthy. They're too dangerous and too violent. I think we should stick in the war. Let's see if we can actually... Let's see if we all, together, can deal with them. This is not really a role-playing concern, but it's sort of playing out like a role-playing concern, right? Pretty sure dwarves and elves of all kinds do not get along, but wood elves in particular. Man, I really want to be able to pull this army back to defend Erengrad. We got to deal with Throg quickly. Hopefully he won't manage to outrun me quite so badly on this next turn. But yeah, like, if we all stay in the war together, I'm sure we can take back at least all of the Empire territory from the Wood Elves. Oh, he just went and resettled the Tower of Krak. That was a bad plan. Yeah, go ahead and steal my technology. See what good it does you. If I were Wintertooth, right at this moment, my primary concern would not be research. I don't think they're going to make any significant researches. You see this this rogue army up here. It would be really cool if these guys would take over some of this Norscan territory. I think we're not going to be inhabiting any of this because it's unpleasant to live up here. So we'll just burn it all, and maybe we'll get lucky and the rogue army will choose to fill in some of the gaps. Also, once again, our ambush was foiled immediately. Alright, Craig's Strongarm has become better at wounding heroes who try to pull nonsense on him. Hey, we're pretty close to being able to just overwhelm Clan Wars here, although it is worth noting that that army is mustering the entire time that we're sitting here replenishing. So I'm really hoping for this ambush thing to work out, but apparently we're just not sneaky enough to get by Skaven. To be fair, I bet that the smell of a dwarf is not a subtle thing, and having had a number of rats, I can tell you, they're really, really good at smelling stuff. Nothing is ever truly lost in your apartment. You just need to ask the rat where it is. Well, it looks like a lot of people are moving in on the Wood Elves. I hope that this can be a good team-building exercise for the lot of us. So let's have a quick look at that rogue army up north. I'm curious what their unit makeup is. So yeah, we saw this stuff happen in real time.
Cruel and deadly.
Vashnar, it looks like not a very interesting one. Okay, so the deal with rogue armies is that their gimmick is made up of units from multiple factions. At first I thought this was all just Dark Elf stuff, but it's Dark Elves and Chaos Knights together. That's actually kind of terrifying. I don't know, maybe we need to just wipe those guys out. Alright, so we're going to go and resettle this which is going to make this army very, very weak for a little while. I think Lamont Dahl here should not be able to reach Khazid Bordkarag in a single move, because you can see the mountains around Krakadrak are between him and it. He might be able to get over here in a single move. He does only have 11 troops, but he might finish a bunch of recruitments right at the beginning of his turn. Honestly, Guthrie's in not as bad a shape as I thought he would be. Maybe we don't need to defend him. I was thinking that the play here would be to move Thorgrim over to cover him. Then again, maybe we don't need to, but also doesn't seem like there's a compelling reason not to. Okay, I don't think I want to bother grabbing just a bunch of normal yellow line stuff with him, so what do we want to do with his last group of skill points? That's probably not worth... Oh, you know what, actually. For armies that are coming up north, it's worth noting that these are worded a little strangely. When it says minus 15% casualties caused from attrition, I believe it lowers the amount of casualties that you are taking by 15% of your replenishment. Like, for example, when replenishment rate says plus 3%, it doesn't mean you get 3% more replenishment. It means you replenish 3% more of your army's total unit count each turn, which is why 15% casualty replenishment rate means you almost completely replenish every turn, because you're rarely missing, really missing actually huge amounts of your guys. So I think these function similarly, meaning that 15% is not as small an amount as it might seem. And up here in the north, this actually might be worth taking, if we're going to slowly march west across all of Norsca. You know what, we can get into defensive position here. Let's just go ahead and get into defensive position. Like I said, I'm pretty sure they can't reach Khazid Bordkarag from where they are. Alright, we desperately need growth in this province, because we're going to have to rebuild it from pretty much nothing, I bet, once we retake Krakadrak. Okay, what kind of army is he putting together over here? An army that is mostly actually dangerous units. Storm Vermin and Death Globes. Man. Alright, maybe what we do is we push south and take the rest of his stuff? Because I need Mount Arachnos and Lost Plateau and Carrick Zorn all the way down here. I was hoping to, flush all this stuff out. There's not too much danger in them going north. I guess they could underway and threaten Death Gorge, which is actually... that would be annoying if they did that. Yeah, okay, we should do something.
I grow restless.
Ulgrim's army definitely needs one more turn to replenish, though. You know what? I'm going to do it again. Let's put myself in ambush mode. Maybe it'll work this time. But I think we need to sit here for one more turn and replenish, so...
They will die by my axe.
We'll just keep removing all of the heroes that he hires from his army, because you are not allowed to have those. I think that's the largest impact that agent can have. And over here, we'll come around and threaten that army. But I don't remember exactly what this guy's plan was. It was something involving elves. Alright, well, get over here and do stuff involving elves. Oh, wow, that army has a tremendous number of characters in it. Oh, he's not actually even going to get over there. Never mind. I think while he's low level, it makes the most sense to just attempt assassinations on whoever is easiest to take out. Hold on, there's some characters we have not yet moved. Alright, Crombrindle is just about done recruiting. Someday he will finish. His army's going to be in pretty good shape once he's done, though. Like, this is a pretty modern army. We have a lot of good troops here. Do I want to pull population out of the pool away from Fort Straghov? I actually think no. I think we really want to cap Fort Straghov off as soon as we can. Hell Pit definitely needs to put up its defensive structure, or else we're going to be at real risk of losing it very quickly. Really, I can't reach that. He reached it so easily. Okay, well... This forest is a nightmare to move through, apparently.
Master of runecraft. Casting the runes.
Alright, we're just gonna underway ourselves over here. Not actually in range of his reinforcements, but close. So his army has the option of fleeing while at incredibly low health this way toward the Astalians, or staying and dying. Either one of those works fine for me.
Armed and ready.
And then you guys... yeah, all of our recruitment slots are used there, and here we were making sure that we could recruit something. Oh, I think I just got the ability to recruit Ironbreakers in this settlement, which we're definitely going to need some of. Let's grab you guys, and... I guess I don't have to grab anything else this turn. Okay, where are there settlement upgrades available? We have so much Empire to manage. Is Misty Mountain in danger? Not really. We're friends with that particular Tomb King faction. But I guess I can't necessarily rely on that. Okay, we're far enough north that we're not under threat from any of these factions here. So we probably don't have to bother rushing this upgrade and putting walls up. Yeah, we can save population for Karakazgal over here. So Fort Ostrosk needs to not get upgraded yet. We need to keep pushing for population in Jufbar. I know there's a pretty good chance that we're just going to lose Eshin again, since I'm using it basically as a trap for people who want to attack us. But there's no sense in just having the population sit there, right? Okay, we have a little bit of money left over, which we could use to upgrade some other buildings. What else do we have that still needs upgrading? Money-making buildings especially. God, we have a lot of territory now. It's just a lot to keep track of. Right, Kredtomen, yeah, doesn't have a trade resource or anything. I think that's the best thing we can do there. So the Empire's filling in all of this space. We still have these wood elves to worry about. I guess I'm ranging pretty far away from Erengrad. If they march on Erengrad, though, Grombrindle can come get them. It has walls. They probably won't attack it immediately. It does only have an 8-unit garrison, though. I don't know. I think if they come after Erengrad, I think we probably have time. So now it's just a matter of seeing what Wintertooth's going to do. We can probably just ride on them this coming turn, right? I don't think we need to hold off and heal up at Silktrekken or anything. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have double-checked to make sure that nobody else pieced out with the Wood Elves. I think we would have gotten a notification if they had, but good idea to be sure. I'm a little worried about this. Okay, they're backing off. Given the way that Kislev seems to have lost everything to them and then not rebuilt. I guess maybe they're making the armies somewhere else, but their main settlement seems to be undefended. I'm a little concerned about that. Yeah, it does look like the Wood Elves are mostly getting pushed back. And honestly, it's for the best for us if the Bretonnians are able to take some of this stuff back from the Wood Elves, I think, because it will increase the value of our trade routes with Bretonnia. They have more territory and more demand for our goods. I assume that the way demand works for the trade calculations is it's just based on how much total population worth of main settlement structures that people have, or something like that. Okay, well, we can burn the Tower of Crack, we can chase him. And he's always going to be able to outrun us, it looks like. He just has a lot of move speed improvements. That's fine, we'll burn the Tower of Crack, and then we'll bring Grombrindle over here, and we'll put an end to his nonsense with 2 armies. After all, if I ran into enemy territory and then used March mode to always evade the AI in all circumstances. What they would do to me is they would just bring a second army over and trap me between them. So we may as well do the same. Well, he's not in muster mode anymore. Is that army actually full? Hard to see the bar behind our flags. It looks like it is. I don't think it's a very large settlement garrison, so we should be able to take them.
You no doubt have a
How about this? I got a counter offer for you. Confederate or die. Alright.
Welcome to my throne.
Can't say I never gave him the chance, right? I do wish that you had the ability to impress upon them a little bit more the direness of their situation in circumstances like that, but I guess, like, the idea is the AI is supposed to take that stuff into account automatically. You don't get to have diplomatic options. But I wish that there were more complex diplomatic options where you could, like, cause the AI to consider the situation to be, I don't know, like 15% more serious than they are currently considering it to be by spending some kind of diplomatic resource or something. I don't know. A lot of my strategy and 4X type design ideas end up just being, you know, it should probably work like it does in the Endless games, just with some minor modifications. Okay, Krokodrak has no natural garrison, actually. So yeah, we definitely want to lay the pressure on right now. Wait a minute, can I get there in a single move? I totally can. Okay, well, let's do that. Hold on. Can we do that with you?
Yes! Very well.
Because we want to lead with Thorgrim's army.
To battle!
We'll just do an encircle here.
Wipe out the trespassers!
Or, I guess we could just take them. Like, I'm going to auto-resolve this. I apologize if you're looking forward to seeing more battles here, but this is not going to be an interesting one. This is just going to be the battle that we did at the end of the last episode, but without the mammoth. Yeah, you got this under control. You don't need backup. And hey, look at that. We've done it. The Gianthome Mountains are under our control. So let's see what this unique building is. Silver Hall. Krokodrak, famous for its gemstone and silver mines, is so rich that an entire hall has been lined with thick silver sheets. Wow. That does not sound like a place that would be comfortable to be in at all. Big public order boost, big casualty replenishment rate boost, hero rank up for Thanes, because what we need is even more Thanes. Okay, so this is not that great, really. It's fine. We do get a gem mine out of it, though.
Vengeful Runelord!
Let me guess, yeah, I can't reach him.
By the ancestor gods!
Well, let's re-raise this. Don't want them starting to build up there.
An axe!
And as silly as this is,
Have my axe!
we're just gonna devote even more manpower to this problem for a moment. I am leaving myself a little bit vulnerable to chaos intercession, but we also are actually pretty close to hell pit. I'm sure we can underway.
Time for a
In
reckoning.
fact, I could do that right now. But I think I'd rather push east, right? We have to go this way anyway, and I'd like to take all this stuff away from Wintertooth. Again, I think I'm just going to burn it all. I don't actually want it myself. I'm a little worried that if I auto-resolve these attacks, that we're going to have our Giant Slayers die, so I'll probably manual these. Probably not going to be very interesting battles, unfortunately.
Ready axes!
But the Slayers always seem to take the brunt of the damage anyway, even under the best of circumstances, so... Trolls, a single unit of Marauder champions, and then mostly guys with like 20 armor who are not actually that good at fighting. Should be pretty easy to take this in a very low casualty way, but we all know what the auto-resolver is going to do if I press that button. So what? One unit of the organ guns focuses on the champions, the other unit of organ guns focuses on the trolls, and then we just hack up anything that actually makes it to us from there. The only thing that's even remotely dangerous is that great weapon unit. I guess the axes that these guys throw are also armor-piercing, but the regular marauders are going to have a hell of a time getting through our armor. It's good to be a dwarf. Wait a minute, not you, sorry, you. And then we're going to keep all the Slayers back, because they're... I'm trying not to get them all killed.
By the layers will.
Alright, so are we actually in range? We're sort of in range. We're almost in range. I guess we let them approach a little bit. They managed to put all of their units as far as possible from the guns. All of their dangerous units, which I guess is pretty smart. Let them approach a little bit until I think they're within range here. Actually, you guys should shoot there. You guys should shoot here. Command group these guys up so that I can focus them a little bit better. And I guess there's no reason to have these units waiting all the way over here. Okay. Shots out. This should be pretty fast. We will, of course, summon our ancestor as soon as any of the enemies get close. I think we're going to just use him to really mess up these range dudes. Back up, just to make the guy happy. Really? You're gonna attack the runesmith? So this is what his ring does. It's this like little fire cone. It's fine. It's not like totally amazing. Alright, as you might have expected, the trolls have been made to flee already. I don't know, just shoot at some guys who are nearby. The trolls will be back, and we'll deal with them when they return. We'll make sure that we actually get around far enough behind for it to count as a flank here. Oof. Organ gun is doing some okay work. I guess reload skill probably makes the organ guns fire faster.
It is an order for the colours and core. Axes out.
And this ancestor spirit does a great job of like just distracting units, and he does crazy damage. This horn of the ancestors is a really, really powerful item. I'm glad I built it so early. There you go, 30 total losses. That's about where I wanted to end up there. And I'm sure not where I would have ended up if I had auto-resolved. So yeah, we just burn this, then we go east and burn the other one. We'll get a quest step from one of those things. And honestly, it's probably getting pretty close to time to actually do Thorgrim's quest battle, right? There's going to be a moment here where we don't want him to march forward because he's not, because Guttri's not in position to support him yet, but his army has managed to recover all the way, and at that time we'll do the quest battle. We're probably talking like next turn or the turn after, is my guess. Although maybe I want to upgrade his army a little bit before I do that, because his army is pretty out of date. Yeah, that's not even enough money for me to care. Raise it. All of it to the ground. A dread host of chaos, one that has hounded the Norse dwarfs, are deploying for a fight. They wish to spill doughy blood upon the snow, no doubt in tribute to the vile god of rage and murder. However, the dwarfs shall not lie meekly in the frost and ice. They are led by the white dwarf, who has placed an oath upon his axe. Only when this legion of the damned is slaughtered will the many entwined runes upon Grombrindle's weapon burn again with power. Or burn with power again. You know, whatever order you want the words to be in. So, yeah, that's a pretty good axe. It doesn't really increase his direct damage by too much, except during the time that the buff is up. But that's a lot of melee attack and the leadership penalty that he can give enemies with it is pretty cool. So, Forsaken, Chaos Marauders, of course, reinforcements expected. This army is not very dangerous. I assume that the reinforcements will be. This army's probably, like, in position to do that, too. We could take that quest as soon as we have a turn where he hasn't had to move in march mode. And we're moving forward on this one as well. Is this... Sorry, did the other quest also have us... It did. The other quest also had us moving to the Goromadni Mountains, and we've already done it. The runesmith's books and vast reams of notes on runecraft and lay seams have been recovered, so the rune can finally be crafted. As the pattern is sewn into the cloak with a Gromrill needle, it does indeed begin to illuminate, with any who touch being blessed with a dread knowledge indeed. Something dead stirs in the deeps, so Grombrindle sends a pathfinder to mark the way. We did that, and now we have the quest battle for this available as well. An undead host has been discovered making its way into the roots of the mountains. Creatures were moving under a devious magical veil that left even Valiah blind to their whereabouts, so she tasked the white dwarf with adding a new rune to her cloak to pierce this deceit. The rune is now in place, and the location of the undead has been revealed. Although the cloak has been drained of its usual properties, they will no doubt return when this grudge has been settled. The white dwarf must purge this undead incursion into the Karazankor at once. So we'll get this cloak, which gives magic resist, a little bit of physical resist. Yeah, if I'm being honest, not really that good, I think. But we'll do it, because quest battles are fun. So yeah, this is just fight a bunch of undead. Also, reinforcements expected. Also, a thing I think his army is definitely up to the task of. Oh, Guthrie finally gets stand your ground. We might go get some blue line stuff with him now. We have Rune of Negation on you. Alright. Wow, Bearsonling's camp actually has a really large garrison. We might need Thorgrim to come over here. The local populace of this area does have chaos corruption. There's always going to be points of chaos corruption in this area. That is very unfortunate. I think we need to focus on growth for now, but we might have to build a Slayer Shrine here earlier than I ordinarily would. Alright, who else needs orders?
I must fulfill my Slayer oath.
So we have 33 units of Skaven behind these walls. Most of them are actually capable of fighting up on the walls and of being a real pain. Yeah, the garrison's got storm vermin with halberds, and we gotta get this army to come out. Alright. New plan.
To die in battle.
Let's go threaten over here.
Aye, I'll move.
Master of runecraft.
What I need to do is make this army come out of Karakorid.
One rag. Forwards.
There's no sense in trying to attack that in there. We probably could win, but it would be costly.
They will die by my axe.
Wow, critical success. We had a pretty low chance of that working at all. Very happy to see that we actually killed that enemy agent. He is all the way dead. I think that guy's probably never actually going to be involved in direct combat, but...
A wise plan. A clan honor.
Alright, let's mess with some Wood Elf armies, shall we? Probably not assault units.
Punish the grudge.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, I guess. If we'd gotten here a little bit earlier, then we could have softened enemies up for the Bretonnian army that died last turn. Would have felt a lot better about that. Oh, actually, before we do any worrying about settlement upgrades, we have armies that need recruitment.
And more grim.
Okay, what else do we want here? I would like to get a gyrocopter, although I guess if we're potentially going to be in combat with wood elves, gyrocopters are less useful. I guess what we need to do is take the siege weapons that we want to get here. So I don't think armor is that big of a deal for wood elves. I think we might be best off with, like, grudge throwers. Now, they have a lot of flying units, though. Orkin guns are probably pretty good at shooting down flyers due to projectile speed. It takes so long to get flame cannons. Also, we don't actually even know if they're good yet. Yeah, I'm going to guess that maybe gyrocopters are not what we want over here, but let's take one organ gun, one grudge thrower, and I guess also another grudge thrower, or is there anything else that I really need from global recruitment that I can't get locally? So we have access to ranged and melee here. I guess it really is just artillery. You know what, let's do this. 4 turns, 4 artillery pieces, and then we'll go mostly Ironbreakers here. And it looks like we did not, in fact, get a turn off of Ironbreaker recruitment. The actual hard text of the skill was right. It does lower the time it takes to recruit Iron Drakes, despite the fact that the text describes Ironbreakers and the picture is of an Ironbreaker. That's something they should probably fix. We should probably have some damage troops too, and we don't have a Slayer Shrine, so Hammerers are going to have to do over here. Are we close to being able to make a Slayer Shrine? Oh, we should definitely finish the walls here. Finish that just in case, although I think there's not a huge chance we're going to use it. And we're just going to have to wait on the Slayer Shrine. Alright, and the other army... So over here we have a lot more choices as far as local recruitment goes. I'm going to grab a pair of gyrocopters. I think I'd rather have 2 units of gyrocopters than units of gyro bombers. The gyro bombers do a crazy amount of damage per shot. They do have those armor-piercing explosive missiles, and their bombs are really powerful. I guess let's do 1 of each. Okay, so now we have all of our recruitment slots firing. We're going to save here. Alright, I guess not a lot else to do with our money. It looks like Throg is probably done for. And then we could maybe even head down here and clear out some of this Wood Elf stuff. They still have Dieterschaffen, they still have Gorsel, the Empire has Marienburg. I think the Wood Elves are still holding all their territory. What, 891 trending down to only 866? I think they're getting into, yeah, but what have you done for me lately, mode. Okay, they are still at war with everybody. I'm surprised that they've been able to hold all this. Well, maybe it'll change. Okay, I guess there's not a lot of armies around here that I'm super concerned about. I don't know what this Chaos Army is doing, but I'm gonna let it just hang out here, and I'll tell you why. I think what's gonna happen, I think this is the last Chaos Army of this wave. I think if we destroy it, a new wave will start immediately.
Some kill me a kid.
I believe there's no actual downtime between waves. So I think if we kill that stack, a new wave will spawn immediately, and it'll be like 4 or 5 Chaos Armies at least, and they'll come flooding out of the north. And basically, I'm just not ready for that yet. I will be. It's not even really that far away, but I need a little bit more time. So I'm going to try not to wipe out Mr. Gorefester here, and I'm going to hope that everybody else leaves him alone as well. It does look like he's headed north specifically for the purpose of messing with Guthrie, though, doesn't it? Right, I appreciate these people heading into Athaloran to do some real damage. Hopefully that's enough to keep the Wood Elf armies distracted while we reclaim everything out here. Critical failure on Block Army. Yep, and Throg is doing everything in his power to stay alive. He is their only army, it looks like. So I don't care that much about Throg. I don't want him running around for free out here, raiding us and making the grudge worse, but if we just keep him on the run long enough for us to destroy all of Wintertooth's actual holdings, that'll work just as well. Throg's army doesn't take attrition. That's one of his special traits. It says no attrition damage from any source, but what it actually means is no attrition damage except for the special kind of attrition damage you take for not having any settlements. That he totally takes. And I found that out recently when I decided to see if it was possible for me to play as Wintertooth and just kind of pick up all my units at the beginning of the game and relocate myself over to Skeggy, where that there's that settlement that says that it has a Norscan landmark. Turns out you have to do a little bit of setup work, secure things at home a little bit before you can go on an adventure like that. Also, very disappointing results from that adventure. Can't remember if I've talked about that or not, or... So here's the thing. I talk to Elise a lot about stuff that I'm doing in video games, because I'm a huge nerd, and she loves me enough to put up with it. So I often have trouble remembering... Like, I know for a fact I told the story of what happened when I tried to do that thing, but I can't remember if I told it in one of these videos, or if I just made Elise listen to it over dinner or something. Okay, so we're being raided, which I don't care about. Now we have a grudge to defeat this guy, and our populace in Black Crag is gradually vanishing. I don't think I care about that. Also, the grudgeometer is actually filling a little bit.
How can I help?
So Grumbrindle apparently can't catch this guy, even though he's right there. I think I might have... I'm going to have Grumbrindle go down next to Erengrad and just stop there, and then we're going to do one of his quest battles this turn. Skolson, do I want him to head east to maybe fend off Chaos? I'm trying to figure out which settlement he's going to play Recovery. I think we're going to go this way. I'll go all the way to Hell Pit, maybe? There's not really a lot of recruitment buildings in Hell Pit. I guess there's no recruitment buildings up here at all yet. Something I'm working on, but... So yeah, just go to Fort Stragov. You can respond well enough from Fort Stragov. Alright, we can break this down pretty easily, I think. Who wants to lead? It should probably be Ungren.
Vengeful Rune Lord. I'll get on it.
String them!
Bring them good. Wow, that's not as big as I was hoping it was going to be. They have a lot of ranged units. Probably what we're seeing here is that it's going to overvalue their ranged units. These guys have armor-piercing projectiles? They do. So it's going to be a little bit dangerous to use our gyrocopters here. We have to be pretty careful about how we apply them. I don't think we need to do this manually, though. It's just going to be a dwarf-on-dwarf battle that's going to look a lot like a lot of our other battles, but with me being more careful about the positions of our, what do you call it, of our gyrocopters. We're about to do some interesting battles. Let's fast forward through to those. So now that we have this, Hopefully these guys will forget about us, and I don't know. I really need this army to leave this settlement. Need is maybe too strong. I would really like it if that army would leave that settlement. I'm pretty sure that they can't catch up with us over here. I think we can go take... Oh, yeah, that's right. We're gonna need some... We're gonna need this army to be in perfect condition, or we're gonna need some help or something over here. What do we got? Actually, it's mostly marauders. It's a lot of units. Oh, it is 2 feral mammoths and 2 units of trolls. But it's mostly marauders. I think we could do it if we were at full health. So let's
just be about this.
I'm pretty sure we're not in range of the Chaos guys here. Let's do the encampment crawl over in that direction. I think we can take them. That's definitely in battle. We'll do manually. And Thorgard Bear's Keeper apparently has no respect for the probabilities. He'll just do anything. It's good to have a man on your team who doesn't know when he's doomed, you know? Start harassing this. Actually, maybe I should have run him the other direction. Maybe he could come down here and harass Bearsling's camp. That's a lot of walking, though. Probably not. Probably it's fine to just stay over here. Alright, he's all blue lined up. Wonder if I could get this guy. Yeah, pretty good odds. Looks like the Tillian army that marched into the forest was defeated. Yeah, I'm hoping that somebody's going to be able to put some real pressure down here. Seeing that full Tillian stack lost with apparently no real losses from the Wood Elves makes me less confident that that will happen. Okay, local recruitment capacity up in all provinces is definitely cool. Alright, and are the mustering armies... Okay, you're fine. Here we go, this is what I wanted. I think we have some recruitment slots open on these. Wait, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. Okay, you're still all recruiting. Okay. Wait, where are we at on Drakenhof? That's a place where we're going to want to spend a considerable amount of gold once we have it actually upgraded. Oh, we should probably get this. Extra global recruitment capacity and extra local. Both very valuable. Unfortunately, it's going to be the only real upgrade we can make. We don't need that. Oh, this is still in growth mode. We could switch this over to, like, tax rate. Especially given that there is a gold mine here. Alright, let's do one of Grombrindal's weapon quests, or legendary quests. So I think the axe is a lot better than the other one, right? Looks like this battle might be a little harder, but his army is pretty modern and I think pretty powerful. Yeah, we should be able to do this. Okay, so we do get to see the reinforcements here, and they are not that impressive. Now, you gotta be careful about Forsaken. Forsaken are armored, and they have Frenzy, which, of course, is this thing that gives them bonus stats while their leadership's high. And they do have pretty good weapon strength for a unit that has 80 figures in it, but they don't have a huge amount of armor piercing. A little bit of cavalry for harassing our artillery and stuff, but I think on the whole this isn't too bad. Kinda wish he had another organ gun, honestly. Given how much I like the organ gun, especially like in comparison to the cannon, I'm very, very eager to see if the flame cannon continues that trend of the increasing awesomeness of our artillery.
Right, my northern kin, let's get about this. These chaos-loving Umgi are in need of a reckoning, all right. I have an oath to fulfill, so don't mind me if I'm greedy. I promised Grimnir there'd be a mighty tally, and I ain't one for breaking such an oath. So come on, let's have 'em!
Well, you know, I appreciate that he wants to just get to it, right? I think the camera movements are still timed out to the full length of the lines, though. Yeah, I didn't do anything there. That was all just the way it works. Okay, so this thing is inconvenient. The dead center of the battlefield. We have no idea where the enemy reinforcements are going to come in. Where are their Marauder champions set up? We want to put our cavalry and stuff, artillery on that side. Oh, here's their chosen. These guys are dangerous. All right. So we'll set up the cannons on this side. We pretty much just, like, wait nearby, right? Had to be a little bit more cautious this time than I often am, because, you know, we got all this cavalry and stuff. Actually, it's not even really cavalry, most of it. A couple units of dogs. So the Marauder Horsemen are probably not much of a danger to the gyrocopter. We probably don't have to be too worried about that. There's going to be more Chaos Forces. They might come in from behind us, potentially, so we got to be a little careful. We're going to see exactly how dangerous these Marauder Horsemen are. I'll just let the cannons shoot at what the cannons want to shoot at. Try to get some decent bombs off here. Yeah, alright, not bad. It's a unit of Chaos Dogs already breaking, just from artillery fire. Guard mode here. Yeah, they really don't seem to be handling the artillery fire and the gyrocopters well. Okay, that's doing damage remarkably quickly. But if all we can do is cause their units to run around in circles in a way that doesn't actually help them, while constantly bombarding them with artillery, that's just fine with me. Looks like they're not quite fast enough to keep up with us. Okay, I think we managed to dodge those javelins. We're actually even managing to land some cannon shots on the Marauders because they're too busy trying to set up in good firing position. These ones are coming in from the other side, but they're not coming in from very close. I'm gonna actually run us back over here in the hopes that the Marauder Horsemen will turn around and chase us. And we'll never actually get in range of the enemy.
Move now! Rage fast! Go! Fire on the foe!
Alright, well they don't seem to have much of an interest in actually fighting me. Here we go. Looks like it's finally time. Although we're never actually going to be able to chase these things down and harm them, so... where is the organ gun? We could use the organ gun to break these guys down a little bit. I mean, I've been firing it over here, and that's doing fine work, but these things are probably actually a little bit more dangerous to us on the whole. So it kind of looks like the Chosen are never going to get close enough to do any damage. I'm going to see if the miners can get close enough to throw grenades without making the horses run. My guess is that they can't. Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's right, all of these units are grenade capable.
Iron breakers!
I mean, honestly, these Chaos Hounds are so melee mode. Sorry, get in there and smash them.
For the Karas Anchor! Shoot the wizards!
They just got some Marauder Horsemen back, so let's just back off here. Is this pretty much... Nope, it is not the same thing happening over here. Over here we have actual enemies. Like, the kind that might engage us in melee. Rumbrindle, why don't you come over here? Your talents are going to be much more appreciated on this side. These are like... That's a unit of real Chaos Warriors, too. That's something I'm actually concerned about. Yeah, I guess you guys have to do this. You could... I kind of want to focus the gunners on the Chaos Warriors as they approach. But you know what? Maybe we should try to take down the Marauder Horsemen. The Chaos Warriors will eat grenades. So yeah, we'll swap those two up. Yeah, they're just gonna panic and flee. Sorry, hammerers. Do your best to duck. Duck the grenades. These gunners are doing their thing. Just keep the catapults, or keep the gyrocopters rather, running around in the backfield. Are we on range? I think I'm actually probably making a lot of this stuff be out of range of the artillery, so let's run it back in a little bit. The horses are almost dead. Like, the grenades were a little bit too much for the Chaos Warriors. Jesus, like, look at the effect of that. Yeah, those Chaos Warriors have decided they are no longer interested in combat. Maybe never again. Should probably not be, like, right here, because I'm definitely risking taking hits from my own artillery. As soon as those guys break... we could retarget the organ gun, I guess. Grudge thrower still facing the right direction. Nope, keep moving, keep moving. Don't stop and get javelined. No, I mean, we still need to be on top of these things. As long as they're going to break and come back, we gotta be ready for that.
Move now. Understood. Kill 'em all.
Alright, this wave of grenades will probably finish the job here. Jesus, look at that. Oh, wow. They were going to break and retreat, but we actually killed them to the last man. Okay, now I think we can re-aim the organ guns. Turn back this way. All of you guys back in position to face forward. Random Chaos Marauders managed to come back into the fray. The actual Chaos Warriors are broken. But this random unit of Marauders, they want more. I can't believe their main army has been just, like, following my gyrocopter around in the backfield this whole time. That's super weird. Like, but first of all, obviously it's embarrassing from, like, a fiction standpoint that they allowed themselves to be led around like this. But secondly, it doesn't really make sense from a gameplay standpoint, because this isn't how these armies usually behave. Like, I can see the horsemen doing it, but why are all of their melee units following me around? Just come over here and stand in the arc. We can probably fast forward this a little bit and let them just get killed. Honestly, at this point, we can probably just walk them forward into our army. Be faster. Oh no, my hidden units were revealed. yeah, this has been a very silly battle. Alright, now that they have no range left, I am actually going to go behind and do the thing that I was going to do at the beginning of the battle. Also, there's a chance that this will cause them to turn around and just follow us. Alright, so those are normal marauders. Those are marauders with great weapons. That's kind of dangerous. But here, Forsaken, this is what we want to fight. I don't think there's going to be much left by the time they actually reach our guys. They're close enough now, though, that we should close ranks a little. This was a weird battle. Grumbrindle, shoot some fire at, I don't know, those guys? They're close. Never mind, those Forsaken are totally under control. This is a super, super weird battle. Oh, well, I was gonna come around and flank those guys, but apparently that won't be necessary. Well, I probably shouldn't move everybody out just yet, because we're gonna have people coming back in. You guys, on the other hand, I think we're still going to have something to do by the time we actually get over here. It kind of looks like the enemies might all break. God, the number of grenades you get out of an army that is this heavily based on iron breakers. A little silly. You know, listen, the Chaos Wastes make you a little crazy. My understanding is that sometimes things up there can get a little abstract. And so it probably has an effect on your mental welfare. And so probably that, that explains some of what happened with this gyrocopter. It's flying around and they're like, oh, it's shiny. It's definitely a sign from our weird gods. Let's follow it around and go where it leads. It is clearly our new king. But Marauder Horsemen have always been envious types. They're like, no, it can't be the leader. I want to be the leader. I shall kill it with my javelins. I don't know. Listen, I'm not saying that that's definitely what happened, but what other explanation do we have? Right? Alright, well that is a big fancy axe. Also some levels, which we actually kind of need because Grumbrindle's a little bit behind on XP. Yeah. Upkeep minus 5%, that's something. It's not amazing. But that axe has a pretty cool ability. A little bit of progress toward our flash bomb. We definitely want to upgrade this, and I guess we should start putting up defenses at Zoishank. We're going to need defensive buildings in all of this northern stuff. Alright, do we want to push on for another turn here? This is actually not a bad place to stop. We got a couple of important things done. What's Thorgrid doing this turn? I guess he should do something, right? He shouldn't just sit there. So he either needs to come back this way and assist in the attack on Bearsling's camp, or he needs to go west and do some more damage to Wintertooth. Looks like the Stallions have not made any headway at all here. Oh, the Bretonnians are doing stuff, though. Yeah, we got a long walk ahead of us. We should probably get started.
I agree.
That should be pretty easy to take over, though. Now, I want to burn all this stuff, like I said. I'm a little concerned about the amount of time that will take... the amount of time we'll have to spend replenishing ourselves, I guess. Do we have any... Okay, we do have a Regiment of Renown that we could use to speed things up a little bit for one of these armies, but it would mean having a unit of Dwarf Warriors, which is not totally ideal. Oh, right. The other thing I was thinking about with Thorgrim was upgrading his army a little bit. You know what? They're workhorses. He'll get it done. Okay, so I think that is, in fact, where we're going to call it today. Thank you all so much for watching. Come back next time. We've got some more quest battles to fight with Grombrindle, and a whole lot more white, frozen wilderness to trek across. And we'll see you then.